Hi guys, welcome to the latest GradedGem update video. This one is about, as the title suggests, the finalisation of orders with PSA. So finally looking forward, getting every single GradedGem order back. Quick note on US GradedGem first. We actually expect that to be totally finished by November this year, which is great news for our US service submitters. One reason for that is just due to a lot lower numbers of submissions in 2021 from the US. So UK and EU, we still were getting tens of thousands of cards. The US, it slowed down a lot more. Also, it's just easier logistics, right? So you've got a US grading service, you've got a US middleman and a US customer. So yeah, great news on that front. That'll be done by November. And thank you to James C&G for his commitment to finalising those off. Now for the general update, which is obviously more me focused and GradedGem UK focused. We're expecting that every single PSA order that's outstanding to be back by the end of this year. That doesn't mean they've all been shipped out to you submitters, but back here by the end of this year in this office. There was a QA2 delay, as some of you have seen. I think the most severe was about 12 weeks. That was just due to a couple of damaged cards in some of those orders, and was just negotiating with PSA to get a fair, compensation for those people who have been affected. It only takes one card to hold up a whole order, so it's just a case of those orders just being held up. That's now been finished. A lot of you should be getting return shipping emails, or you won't get an email per se, but they are being return shipped this week, and we should have them back next week, which is great news. Onto those really far back legacy orders. So you've got June to September 2020. These are like individual orders. I think it's like 7 or 8 in total. They just had their own little niggling issues. That's been done. That's all been sorted. So they are also currently in return shipping. I am going to prioritise those orders. It's only 7 or 8 orders, but I think I'll just try and get a processing time of like 2 to 3 weeks or less, just so we can get those done. And then we're only working on October, November, January, February and specials. So that'd be really good, just to be working on 4 months and the specials. A word on specials. We did have an issue before where it was really difficult for us to process those orders as quickly as cards. So it did lead to delays here in this office. That has been resolved just by changing the process. So when specials come back, please don't think, oh, they're just going to be sitting in their office XYZ. They are done exactly the same as normal orders and prioritised in exactly the same way. Looking forward to the processing of orders from this office. I am expecting, especially with so many orders coming back, it is going to take a decent amount of time. So as I say, I expect all PSA orders to be back here by the end of this year, and I expect us to be totally finished. So you're talking about your edge cases, your non-payment buyers, submitters, stuff like that by March 2023. So at the very, very latest, I'm expecting everything to be done by March 2023. I do want to now just look into the numbers. I'm trying to be transparent here. I know a lot of you have got a lot of cards out there, a lot of money out there, and I'm just trying to give you a full communication about what's out there, what's left to come back, and how we're going to get this all back. So, number of cards out there. We currently do have over 100,000 cards at PSA. It's in between 100 and 150,000. The number of orders is just below 400 that are left out there. The total value for submissions to return is actually $1.1 million. And what we actually have at the moment is total value of payments and payment plans outstanding to be about that £850,000 mark. So that's just submitters who haven't paid at all, or they've just made payments on their payment plans but not fully finished. That's normal stuff. And we also have non-payment of orders over there. So we've got racking over there of about £40,000 currently, which obviously is a little bit of a concern. I don't want that to continually go up. A lot of those are ones from the last 90 days. So I'm still expecting people to pay. However, we will have to bring in process to start cycling those older submissions that haven't been paid. With current cash flows and using the profit from when we actually finalise an order, there's not been any operational delay. So orders have still been flying back as they usually would, and we've still been getting them out. You can see that by the overall updater. Every single couple of weeks, 3 weeks, that's updated. It always shows movement. It's not like that's been on 0%. However, of course, there is a risk. There is a risk of a cash crunch. What do I mean by that? I mean, basically, if people aren't going to pay for their orders, or the profit and the cash flow we have currently doesn't mean we can continually get these orders back, there is a chance of a cash crunch. So, to avoid that scenario, what we're going to be doing is sending out an email to all submitters who haven't paid or haven't finished their payment plans, just letting them know their current outstanding, and then hopefully you can make payment. If you can't make payment, that's fine. We're not pressuring anyone, but realistically, you don't need to be a mathematical genius to realise we need to get paid so we can pay PSA, and those orders will continually flow. There's not a risk of that like immediately or imminently, but there is a risk, let's say, in 30 to 60 day time, if we have just got a build-up of orders and they're not being paid, that potentially, then we have to stop continually purchasing the orders from PSA. So what this video is about is just to categorically make clear GradedGem can fully afford all the orders coming back from PSA. We can fully afford to continue our operations, paying for the office, paying for staff, paying for the utilities, paying for the shipping, etc. That has all been costed, and I'm not massively concerned. The cards are still coming back. Submitters are getting their cards. I know there's been annoyance with the time it's taken. That's totally fair. But I'm telling you right now, the cards will be back by the end of this year. And then it's just a case of us getting it all out. So that is the current situation we're at. And I expect us to continue on that footing. I would also just like to challenge very quickly. I've heard from, through the grapevine or whatever, there are other reasons why GradedGem are getting their cards back slower. It's just not the case. If it was the case, then all these legacy orders would be back with every other middleman, but they're not. So it's just a case of the middleman orders, unfortunately, were put to the back of the queue, but we're getting through them now. And as I say, we have got a year end. There's no other, reason. There's no conspiracy. It's just a case of I'm here every day, getting the orders out, and it's just how quick we can do that with how quick PSA can ship them back. In regards to how we update our submitters, I actually think we've got a good system. I'm not going to lie. I think it's quite transparent. You get an email every single week, and even in the scenario where your cards are in QA2 for a maximum of 12 weeks, you actually get to see that. I'm quite proud of how that was built. I think it's very transparent in terms of telling you at what stage they're at. Everyone has seen the stages go up. Maybe not as quickly as they would have liked, but that is exactly what's happening. On top of that, the overall order update is updated every 2 to 3 weeks. I'll try and make that every 2 weeks moving forward, especially with the larger batches of orders going, and obviously working towards finalising this off. But that just shows you movement on each submission. I'm really looking forward to getting June to September crossed off, and that will all just be 100%, so that will look so much better on that table. In general, I've moved away from the YouTube updates or the social updates because I just feel like it's not direct enough. I feel like if you really need to reach us, you can. There's Instagram messaging if you need to, or there's email. If you have got something urgent and it's connor@gradedgem.com, just put urgent and put your reasoning for the email. What I do just want to stop is obviously people who just want to vent. If people want to vent, that's fair enough. You can do that on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But I don't want to spend my time on it, because if I'm spending my time on it, I'm not getting orders dispatched. And I would much prefer just keep getting these orders out here and picking them up every single day, rather than having to message about the venting and stuff. So all I'm asking for really is, guys, give us till the end of the year to get all the cards back. You should see that reflected on the order updates. And then just give us a little bit of time after that just to get all the cards out of this office. It is going to be very hectic, but as many of you will agree, I will be very relieved. You'll be very relieved. It'll all be over. You will get your cards back, all your specials back, and then, move forward from there. Lastly, I would actually like to thank PSA. So communications have reopened with PSA recently, and they have got the same eagerness, trust me, to get this situation resolved and to get all the cards back from those legacy orders out to submitters. So thank you for working with us again and just making sure that happens. I'm hoping this video has just quelled some of those concerns, quelled some of the panic that's about, I'm still fully committed. I'm still here every single day, and we are just doing our job, getting the cards out. So if you are a GradedGem submitter, please don't be alarmed about anything that you see elsewhere. It's just a case of working through it, and that's what we're doing. Thank you for watching. I hope you're all well, and enjoy your weekend.